So Toni's Kitchen received an outreach grant this past year and is housed at St. Luke's in Montclair, an Episcopal church where Reverend John Manel and Tristan Shin are the priests.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here today and for the warm support that Christ Church has shown to Toni's Kitchen. Toni's Kitchen has been around since 1982. It was started as a soup kitchen by some women at St. Luke's, and it's been in continuous operation since then. A soup kitchen serves a very particular population in the suburbs, so it tends to be those without housing or with inadequate housing, so maybe not cooking facilities, refrigeration, that kind of thing. So people who need to come together for a prepared meal. We had been doing that for quite a while, but we knew that there was other food insecurity in our community that was unmet. And if we think about the traditional tools that we have brought for the last generation or 2 generations to the work of food insecurity, they tend to be soup kitchens for those who need prepared meals, pantries for those who need groceries. We have programs like SNAP, food stamps, and we've done more work on getting free and reduced price lunch in our schools. However, food insecurity in the suburbs is very complex. It's diverse, much more diverse than we understand it to be, and much more pervasive than we understand it to be. So a few years ago, Toni's Kitchen looked around at our community and at those who were not connected into the food system and had food insecurity. Food insecurity being defined as a lack of reliable access to sufficient, healthy food, right? So we began to think, what can we do for these populations? So these would be seniors who may have issues getting out. They would be the cashiers who we see when we go to buy groceries, people who put the gas in our cars, people who take care of our children at a preschool, home health aides who take care of our aging adults, the Uber driver who gets us to the airport, day laborers, right, who cut our lawns and roof our buildings. So very diverse populations that were not adequately supported by the food system that had been built a generation ago. And we began to look out into our community, where do these populations gather, and can we build solutions to food insecurity by connecting into those gathering spaces food that is tailored for those specific spaces. So it might be a hot meal, it might be we have a cook-to-order food truck, might be sending a food truck over to a park or a parking deck or a train station. It might be sending groceries home in a backpack with students, really highly focused solutions. The grant that we received from Christ Church, we are using in one of the solutions that we're having the most success with. We call them neighborhood mobile markets. We build them in different types of environments. So some are at schools where you have very high percentages of your children on free and reduced price lunch. Some are at churches that serve low-income populations. Some are run out of library programs. And the idea of these markets is they feel sort of like a farmer's market. So you have staples, protein, and then about half of the food offering is fresh produce. So always getting at access to core nutrition. And what I love about these markets is that they build food security even as populations continue to struggle with the structural issues that give rise to food insecurity, right? So housing, our gig economy, access to adequate medical care, all of these things contribute to creating food insecurity, right? But if we flip how we look at that and we say, These issues are structural in our economy right now. Let's make the assumption that they're not all going to get solved in our lifetime. What food solution do we therefore build? And that is the work that Toni's Kitchen is working on. So the grant that we received this year is being used to build, as I mentioned, these neighborhood markets. So if you can imagine a neighborhood market, these happen every week, right? It's the reliable part of things. Families can leave school with their children. They can go home with groceries for the week. So that family that we otherwise think of as food insecure, a struggling family, right, now has the worries of food insecurity taken off their plate, right? So they know that they can feed their child not just tonight or tomorrow, but into the foreseeable future as they build more stability into the life around them. And that child grows up food secure, right? So when there's so much research around what food security does for a child, educationally, nutrition, long-term outcomes, right? So that child grows up food secure, even while we haven't fixed those structural issues that gave rise to the situation to start with. So we are so deeply grateful for your support. We are putting it to good use. If you ever want to come visit us, come see the work of Toni's Kitchen. Certainly, if you ever want to jump in and help out, we're always there. We're just around the corner in Montclair. So thank you so much.